Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about a show that is kind of forgotten, but it was a show before its time, a coming of age show. That show is called Popular. Now, it aired on the WB back in 1999 to 2001, and it only lasted for 2 seasons. This show was phenomenal. Like when I say it was ahead of its time, before its time, it truly was. It tackled some of the greatest issues that plague the world today that you constantly see in television shows today. And this was done back in the late 90s, something that was very taboo. And I guess it was so taboo that it got canceled. This show you cannot find on streaming. The DVD is out of print. If you try to buy the DVD, you have to get a used copy or you'll have to get a new copy, and the vultures have priced the new copy up to about $70. And like you literally cannot find this show anywhere. It's not even on YouTube anymore. Like it used to be and stuff, but it's not. Now, I remember when I first watched this show. See, I didn't have cable growing up, and then my family got cable my senior year of high school. And so, what do you do when you get cable for the first time? You got constantly just flipping through channels. And it was a Friday night around 7 o'clock, and I'm flipping through channels, and I see this show about a bunch of teenagers in high school. And they actually look like teenagers, except for George. But they look more like teenagers than that Zoe Duncan show that was on like the WB. Now, them people look like grown adults. The cast of this show was phenomenal. It was a comedy drama series, and it was actually created by Ryan Murphy from Glee and a woman named Gina Matthews. The cast was very young at that time, and you might recognize a lot of faces because they went on to do some really great stuff. Even their guest stars and recurring people went on to do some great things. The dude that plays Howard on The Big Bang Theory, that's him in the wheelchair. There's Sarah Rue, Leslie Bibb, Carly Pope, the dude from Star Trek Enterprise. Even Sandra Oh is in this. She plays like a teacher who dresses in a leather dress. Yeah. The cast, they all have like these different personalities. It's a show about, well, the popular kids clashing with the outcasts. See, these two parents met on a cruise ship, right? And their two daughters, who are both in high school, do not like each other. So, of course, as the parents are engaged and stuff, the girls have to learn to like each other, but they just can't. One girl is part of a group of the popular kids, while the other one is part of the outcasts. The personalities here are relatable. We've seen them all before in television. We've seen them all in regular life. They are insane. They are very colorful. Brooke, she's one of the daughters. She is a popular girl, very popular. She's on the cheerleading squad. All the guys want her. She's dating Josh. She has a struggle with bulimia. Yeah, they tackle that in this show. And, she does not like the girl Sam, who is now her not her half sister, but her stepsister. And so Brooke is dating Josh. She, like I said before, she's the popular kid. She's slightly stuck up, but she's not like super mean. Sam is the outcast. She's super smart, very intelligent. She's very outspoken. She's very independent. And she is just an all-around sweet girl who don't like popular kids all that much. But one time she does experiment with blonde hair because she wants to see if blondes have more fun. In this show, she ends up dating George. Now he's a black dude. This show does like two interracial couples, and it's great. This is something also you really didn't see on television back then. And so like, but even though she's dating him, a friend of hers has like a huge crush on her. And she ends up cheating on her boyfriend with him with a kiss, only to find out that her best friend, the dude who likes her named Harrison, he slept with her stepsister. So that messes up all their relationships and stuff. Now, what's interesting in the first season, these two groups clash. But because the two girls end up breaking up their parents, they see how much they miss each other and try to get them back together. And they do in the next season. And that results in both groups becoming like a super group. And then they become this one huge popular group, which really makes no sense because the outcasts, why would they start being the popular kids, you know? There's Lily. She is a vegetarian. She's an extremely sweet person. She's very independent. She's a feminist. And it's revealed in one episode, she questions her sexuality. She knows she likes dudes and everything like that. But she starts to feel a little funny when she's around girls to the point where she thinks she likes them, and she's very confused by that. They don't really delve too deep into that because this was the 90s and stuff. But the fact that they address like LGBT stuff is like mind blowing. There's even this one character, I think he guest starred, and he's LGBT. He's like gay, and he doesn't want nobody to find out. And I think one of the girls find out, and when he finds that out, he's super mean to her and stuff. And I think he starts spreading lies about her because he's getting picked on really badly in school. And it's just like, it's really shocking to see that on television in the 90s. You would normally never see nothing like that. And if you did, it would just be played for like laughs and stuff. And like huge denial. And of course, the creator of the show, he's gay. So, he wanted that content in his show. And that was really cool that WB allowed him to do that and stuff. Now, Lily, she ends up dating Josh towards the second season. He's a jock. He's into football. He's really stupid. He's one of the popular kids. He's mean to Harrison. And actually, I think he stopped playing football, I think, to like do music or some crap like that. And it really pissed off his father. Now, towards the end of the season, now they're still in high school, and him and Lily decide they're so much in love, they're going to get married. This was a huge mistake because they're still teenagers. I don't know if they was about to graduate or they got emancipated or what, but they had to move out their parents' place, get their own apartment, and they had huge financial troubles. But he had trouble like landing a job, and it was just really just like surreal moment where they're laying in bed, they're upset, and she asked him, how are we gonna make it? And he said, he loves her and they'll find a way. Like they are literally lost because they have no idea what the real world is about because they're only teenagers. And that was towards the end of the series. And the season, like I said, got canceled after 2 seasons on a cliffhanger, so we never knew what really happened to them. Also with Lily, one thing that was really interesting to see in this season is the relationship between her and her mom. Her mom went through some financial troubles to where they couldn't afford their bills. And so Lily had to pick up like an after school job just to help her mom pay the bills. And that was just so sweet and touching and caring. Like you will really never see that in like a television show today. Like when I say this was like before its time, a coming of age show, it really is. Like the only time I ever really said that before is like probably Boy Meets World. But Boy Meets World was just like yucky yuck for laughs. You know what I'm saying? But this was like serious though. But it was also a comedy. Not only does this show deal with the struggle of being skinny, but it also deals with the struggle of being overweight and trying to be skinny. There are 2 overweight kids in the school. One's an outcast and one's a popular kid. Now, the outcast, her name is Carmen, and she wants to be on the cheerleading squad, but they won't let her because of her size. So she creates her own group called the Glamazons. And she ends up dating Josh for like the first season, but then they end up breaking up. She has this alcoholic mother, and and it really pains her to have such a mother that's like has a substance abuse. And she struggles with her weight and being accepted because she's a very lovely, beautiful girl. But you know how people can be when it comes to a person who's bigger set. Sugar. Now, Sugar is the popular kid who's overweight, and he's very overweight on the football team. And he fears that one day he will never be loved by a woman because of his size. But then he ends up dating Mary Cherry for like a short while, and then he ends up having like a relationship with a lady online. And it's really sad because there are a lot. Like when I say he's like large, like he's a lot skinnier now in real life, but back then he was like large. And a lot of people do go through stuff like that, where it's like there are lots of people who will not date you because of the way you look, and as a result of that, you're been told that because of the way you look, you're not pretty or handsome or attractive or whatever, and it really takes a toll on a person's mental psyche to the point where some people have struggled so hard and they would do anything to lose weight, no matter how dangerous it is. And it really sucks that society does that. But it didn't always used to be that way. Back in the olden days, in the Roman days, if you was heavier set, you were considered a rich person because you could eat. If you were skinny, you were considered poor because you had no money. And then there's Mary Cherry. Mary Cherry, Mary Cherry, Mary Cherry. One of the most insane characters I will ever see on live television. This woman was a popular kid. She was really rude and very rich. And she always boasted about her money and always dressed really nice. When I mean she is rude, she is rude. But there's one even meaner than that. And she's one of those characters in her own world. Like she is beyond zany, even to the point of spreading a lie that she had a threesome with Brooke and Josh and everything. Oh, and some other dude, Harrison. Now, towards the end of the series, it is revealed that she has a twin sister she never knew about, named Beho. There is a clip on YouTube. Just like Google popular Beho. Boy, it is insane. She tries to do her best white ghetto girl impersonation. It's hilarious. But then it turns out that they have a father who's a drag queen. I forgot what he calls himself. It's Candy something. Is it Candy Ho, Candy Sister, something like that? And excuse me, and he's played by none other than Ruth Paul. And this is just like insane because Ruth Paul's black. And Mary Cherry and Beho are white. But this has happened in like the series finale, so there was never no explanation to this. Greg is the boyfriend of Sam. I don't really remember much about him. He showed up like halfway into the series, and because he's black and this is WB, of course they didn't really do much with his character. When you look at the cast, like look at the cast of this show. This cast is all white except for like one Jewish person and like one Hispanic person. That's it. And then the black people are only like recurring characters. The WB, boy, I swear. At least the CW is now trying to correct that mistake. So basically, he's just like, the boyfriend of Sam. And they just love each other. Now, there's a really interesting episode, a Halloween episode, like a slasher, I Know What You Did Last Summer type thing. And it's played for laugh, but there's some serious moments. And in there, she's upset with George because she thinks he doesn't want her around his family because she's white and they're black. And so, like, cause his grandmother acted kind of weird around her and stuff. And so that's when she cheated on him with Harrison with that kiss. But then he tells her that his grandmother loves her and the reason why he didn't, because the thing is, he didn't tell his grandma about her because he said a long time ago he dated a white girl. His grandma didn't like her, and that's what made her upset. Turns out the grandmother didn't like his white girlfriend back in the day was because her attitude was just like disgusting. And so, because of that misunderstanding, Sam cheated on her boyfriend, and I don't know if they got back together. To tell you the truth, it's been like a long time since I saw this. Harrison. Harrison is the outcast. He is like this super. He's just a nerdy, geeky guy, but he somehow becomes popular with the ladies after a while. He's this skinny, scrawny little dude who's just socially awkward, and he has a huge crush on Sam. But he also has crushes on some other people. He has a crush on Brooke as well. Now, his crush on Sam, he's been crushing on her since he's been like a little kid. It pained him to see her with George to the point where he literally did his best to break them up, and he did. Not only that, but like I said before, after he slept with Brooke, which is the stepsister of Sam and her frenemy and stuff. Now, it's a very, very serious episode where it turns out he has leukemia and he needs a bone marrow transplant. Like I said before, I have never seen anything like that on television before. And they went through this whole like song and dance about like how giving bone marrow isn't as hard as it used to be. It's still painful, but not as painful, and they can save lives and stuff like that. And the person he gets it from is this character. Nicole. I think that's her name, Nicole. She's the blonde one. Nicole is straight up evil, mean, ruthless. She would do whatever it takes to get whatever she wants. She has a huge crush on Josh when he's dating Lily, and she literally tries to break them up. Like, this woman she's the Regina George of the show. She is the queen bee, but she gives Harrison her bone marrow, which I think it causes him to start acting like her in one episode. But towards the end of the series, she starts to have feelings for him for some bizarre reason. By this time, he's dating Brooke and everything. This makes her very jealous. She has an alcoholic mother. She finds out she's adopted. And I don't know about her dad. But it causes her to get in such rage when he rejects her for Brooke that she gets so drunk when she sees them, she runs over Brooke with her car. And then it ends. And we have no idea how it's gonna, what happens after that because the show got canceled. I hate cliffhangers. There's Josh. Now, this is new audio recorded because I realized I really didn't talk much about him other than talking about Lily. And so with Josh, what I remember about him is that, he's a very complex character throughout the series. In the first series, he is part of the popular group and he is dating Brooke. And he is very, very rude to that of... what's the nerdy dude? Harrison. And so, he is just a straight up bully to him. He's a jock. He plays football and stuff like that. However, later on in the series, he doesn't want to play sports no more. He later wants to become kind of like the sensitive jock. I forget what exactly he takes up next after that, but it's a big debate between that of his father because he doesn't want to play sports no more, and his father is just not having it. At some point in time, when the two groups merge, he starts to date that of Lily, and she turns out to be a better girlfriend for him because Brooke is very stuck up and Lily is not. And of course there's the whole Nicole thing, because Nicole has a huge crush on him and she keeps trying to steal him from Lily. And of course, like I told you before, those two decided that they're going to get like married towards the end. Now, when the groups do merge, he starts to be nicer to Harrison. And I wish I could go more in depth with these characters, but I've only watched this show once in its entirety, and there's really no way to watch it now online. Now, there are three other characters in this show. One is Bobby Glass. She is their science teacher. She is mean, she is rude, she hates kids to death. She is constantly torturing them with homework and all kind of stuff, and like really sarcastic one-liners and stuff. Now she has a twin sister named Nurse Glass. They live together. Nurse Glass hates her. There is Poppy Fresh. Now Poppy Fresh is a biracial black girl, and she's part of the Chilling Squad, and she's friends with the Popular group. And because she's black, of course, she don't do nothing in the show much. And she's barely in there. And she's a recurring character. And she's only there to be the friend or to date someone of the white character. Now, I can't remember nothing about her, but I know the actress is married to the Harrison dude in real life. Then there's April Tuna. April Tuna. I'm not sure if her last name really is Tuna. It might just be. But they nickname her on the show Fish Breath. And she is the biggest socially awkward outcast there is. She's not part of no group because they don't want her. They constantly berate her, constantly make fun of her. She is the most bizarre character ever, to the point where she fakes her own death and comes back later on in the next season. And she even stated in the next season that she doesn't even remember what her real name is anymore because everybody keeps making fun of her and calling her Fish Breath and stuff. Because they say her mouth smells like tuna because April Tuna. And it's just like she hates both the Popular group and she hates the outcast. But yeah, this show, it dealt with a lot of like very serious issues. It had a teen pregnancy scare with Carmen. There was anorexia, bulimia. There was weight issues. There was infidelity, cheating, you know what I'm saying? There was like LGBT stuff. There was attempted murder. There was alcoholism. There was emancipation. There was like teen marriage and stuff. There was just so much going on in this show. It deserves more love than what it gets now. It is literally a forgotten show. It is so sad that this is forgotten. Now, the first season was way more serious than the second. The second was played more for comedic laugh. That's probably one reason why it got canceled. The Halloween episode is goofy. Let's just put it like that. But other than the goofiness, they hit you with a lot of serious stuff, like the whole infidelity thing and stuff. But it's just like, I wish to God I could find this somewhere. In order to find it, you're gonna have to do some soul searching. But it really truly is a great series. It should be remembered. It should be more on DVD. It should be on streaming. More people should be talking about this show. It shouldn't have to be teeny tiny clips on YouTube and episodes in Spanish, Like I said before, it used to be on YouTube. Because when I first watched this show, I watched the episode before the Halloween episode. Then I watched the Halloween episode, and then they had this game show episode. And when I went to go watch it again, boom, it was like gone. I'm like, hey, what happened to this show? And I didn't know it had got canceled and stuff. And so many years passed by, and I was in college, and I was on YouTube. And then behold, like somebody had uploaded it on YouTube. I watched every single stinking episode, man. And now I can't because the YouTube police took it down. Also, the music. One reason why this probably isn't made more on DVD is the music. The copyright is insane. They had so many like popular songs from like the late 90s, early 2000s that they had to edit the DVD, I heard, just to compensate for the music and stuff. But it's a great forgotten show. And it really pisses me off when you always hear stuff like Boy Meets World as a coming of age show. And yeah, Boy Meets World was good, but it was so wacky. And you hear like all these other shows, and it's just like, this show did it first, man. This show did it first, and it did it first during a time era in which people did not like to hear that stuff. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.